What's up, guys? You are on the air and off the books with Bethann and Samantha, and today we are going to be talking about The Murders of Molly Southbourne by Tade Thompson. Yes.
That was a little quiet. Yes.
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 We actually found this book on Kindle Unlimited. I think it was like $3.
Yeah.
And I would consider it a novella.
Yeah.
It's like 120 pages. Sorry. We both have colds, and we might have to like cough or like die in the middle of this podcast.
If you hear somebody trying to resuscitate, it's fine.
Yeah.
Just wait a few minutes.
Don't call 911 until we've been silent for at least 45 seconds. All right. Anyway, so yes, we found this book on Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, and I was actually surprised at how good it was.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I haven't talked to her about the book at all. Like, she read it, and I never brought it up, and, like, this is the first time I'm hearing that she likes it because it's not really, like, technically what you would read.
Yeah, it's more like sci-fi.
Yeah. It's like sci-fi / with, like, a little bit of mystery thriller mixed in.
Yeah.
I, of course, loved it with everything that I am. It was amazing.
See, I was surprised that you liked it as much as you did.
Oh, really?
It's more like, I know you don't like, like the explicit details. I feel like there was a lot of that through this book.
With the murders and stuff?
Yes.
I don't mind that. Now, I didn't really like showcasing her relationships very much that she had. That was a little for me, but I understood at the end why that she had to do it. We'll tell you when there's spoilers, so
yes.
So far you're good.
Yeah. So basically this book is about this girl. Her name's Molly Southbourne,
obviously,
and ever since she was little, every time she gets cut and she bleeds, anytime any of her blood is exposed from her body, she grows these little replicas of herself, and they're called the Mollies. And so she has spent her whole life literally just her and her family killing these Mollies.
Yeah, she's being sheltered and protected, and she's taught by her parents how to dispose of these other hers. So she's basically trained all her life to be an assassin to herself.
Yes.
Which is such a cool premise. Yeah. And that isn't... surprisingly, that's not a spoiler because that's literally the synopsis when you read the back of the book. It is so... I thought it was so unique of a story.
Yeah.
I don't really... I mean, if you know anything out there that's kind of similar to this, I would love to hear about it. But so far, I've never heard anything quite like that.
Yeah,
she's her own enemy. And the Mollies, when they wake up out of whatever they, however they grow, which I won't tell you that, they're always out to kill her. They want to replace her because they think they're the real Molly. Mm-hmm. And they're always hostile. They're never, good. They're always inherently evil.
Yeah, and I would stop here if you don't want any spoilers because that's basically what it's about. But I think there was one Molly at the end that was different, and she let her go, and she was like, "Just go. I don't care anymore."
Yeah. So, you should definitely. Hopefully you stopped.
Yeah.
Because that's here. Because you open up in the book and the first thing that you see is somebody's interaction with this woman she's obviously been brutalized, kept captive in this cell down in a hole in the basement. She doesn't know where she is. She only has remnants of thoughts of who she was. And then the real Molly comes in and explains who she is, and then you start to get revealed that this is a Molly who she's talking to, and she's essentially trying to humanize one of these Mollies because I think what's happening is that her willpower to kill these other versions of her is done because she's lost so many lives to her ailment.
Yeah. And I think the only complaint I have about the book is it really doesn't get into how this happened to her.
No, but that's in the second book.
Yes, and the second book is called The Survival of Molly Southbourne.
Right, and I think that's when it picks up, because when she frees that Molly, she runs away with the intent to find out who she really is.
Right.
And how, because when she kills the other Mollys, their blood doesn't create new versions.
Right.
It's only the original Molly's blood that creates new versions. And it's really creepy, too. I love how they did it, because he said, like, she would bleed and, like, the blood would seep into the floor, and the floor would, like, hollow out. Like, it would burn out, like, a place in the floor, and they would, like, be, like, little, like, alien cocoons glowing and forming these Mollys, and they would just, like, burst out of them.
Right.
And, like, come after her. And it was crazy, too, because when she started, like, traveling around the world and stuff, and she would bleed, but she didn't know, like, over time, she would see these Mollys from different stages of their own lives coming, like, with different stages of intelligence, different stages of, like, dress, who, like, she assumes have lived for years and are traveling the world to try to find her and kill her. And I thought that was really cool, too, because they're not, because, like, I don't know, like, you could, like, brush your eye weird and, like, a speck of blood could fall away, or, like, when your skin cells or you rub too hard, like, you could have a little bit of blood and you don't know. So it really makes it believable, because she's never fully without somebody chasing after her.
Yeah.
She's always on a guard.
And I thought that it was crazy how, this is kind of explicit, so.
Yeah, this is a little creepy, but I love that it addresses it, because of course this would happen.
Yeah. So when she gets with her boyfriend, gets with him. Yep, like that. It creates a Molly inside of them, right?
Yes, like...
And it eventually, like, takes over their body, and, like, they become a Molly.
It bursts out of them like alien. Like, they literally, explode.
Yeah.
I think one person that she said she had some fling with, like, was, like, slaughtered, like, hamburger meat all over the place.
Yes.
And she knew that a Molly had grown inside of him. And
yeah.
Because, like, she gets with this professor and falls in love with him.
Yeah.
And she was with him for a long time before he found out that this Molly had...
Yeah, because they were trying to figure out, like, what was up with her. Like, because he knew about her. They were trying to figure out taking blood, stuff like that. Because when he takes her blood and he puts it into this vial, it doesn't create a Molly. It stops it. Yeah. So they're trying to figure out, like, what's up with my body? What's wrong with me? Why am I creating
these
Mollies?
He's trying to cure her.
But, stuff happens, and he's like, well, you killed me.
Yeah, and it was so devastating to her, because she was trying to have, like, a normal life. And I think what was really, I don't know, I guess, and if you're not sure why he would have a Molly in him, when you do that stuff, sometimes you bleed. Like, yeah. I'm assuming that's the way that it infiltrated his body.
Yeah.
So there's your history lesson, your whatever lesson, your science lesson. Yeah, anatomy lesson. So, but I think the tragic thing is, the best part is that he put the twist in that Molly's killed her parents.
Yes.
That they came after, and that they were brutally murdered. Because I feel like I wouldn't have been happy if something twisty didn't happen in the little book. And there's just so much information, too, for 120 pages.
Yeah, and I wonder if the second one is small like that, too.
It is.
It is.
Yes, and I really want to read it. It really doesn't take that long. I think it took me 2 days to read. It took you like an hour.
It took me like an hour.
So that's, if you're a slow reader like me, like, if you take things in long, unnecessary chunks, then that's how long it'll take you. It's really not that long. But the second book is supposed to outline this new Molly running away from the fire that the original Molly created, so that she can find out, like, and assume being the real Molly, live a normal life. I'm assuming that's what the original Molly wants, is for her to live on in some normal semblance of life. Right. But it's her goal to find out, like, what happened to her, where she came from. Because I think what my assumption is that her mom was a spy for Russia, a Russian spy.
Yes.
And infiltrated some kind of lab somewhere and wasn't supposed to destroy this biological weapon. And it turned out it was a baby.
Yeah.
And she brought her home and kept it.
That's
and moved into her farm. Well, when she fell in love with her husband on accident, I really liked their love story because it was so genuine. But you could tell that wasn't their child. And she was so, like, extremely smart for no reason.
Yeah.
So interesting. I loved it. What would you rate it?
I would rate it like a 4.5 out of 5.
I definitely gave it a 5 out of 5. It was just that, like, little, like, extra thing that I needed to, like, keep reading other things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just this little surprising, like, I don't know, how did it pop up that I read it? I think it's because it's, like, a bloody cover, and I was just like, what?
Yeah.
What is this?
Murder.
So you should definitely pick it up.
Yes, and then you should definitely email us at offthebooks@khcpl.org and tell us what you think.
Specifically what you think, yeah. And I do have it suggested for purchase on Overdrive. Unfortunately, I suggest a lot of purchases, so it's a little time coming because I do too much. But hopefully we'll have it on Overdrive for you so you can get your hands on it through the library at some point.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth your read, especially if you like that stuff. And even if you don't really like science fiction, I think it's enough twisty thriller that it's not as sci-fi as you think.
Yeah, it wasn't very sci-fi for me.
Yeah, I think it just makes it that way because of the way that she grows her other selves.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to get into sci-fi, pick up this novella.
Yes.
It's like an introductory.
Intro to sci-fi.
Exactly. So hopefully you love it. Like, I loved it. She loved it. We all love it. Etc. etc.
All right.
So,
and you guys should definitely join us next week when we talk about the guest list with Tanya.
Yes.
That's going to be awesome. Hopefully Bethann likes it as much as Tanya and I do.
I don't know. So far, I still don't.
Tisk tisk.
I know. It's going to be one of those things, Twilight things again.
Yeah.
It's fine.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.